Practice exercise 6-2, Sub-Object Editing. This exercise is located on page 190 of our textbook, and we're going to look at moving and copying solid faces. And it's really quite easy. We'll open this practice exercise 6-2. We'll move the hole from its center location by sub-object editing it by holding Control and selecting it. And there's a little information here about sub-object editing, and what you can do is make sure that you hold the Control key when you select the desired faces. And so faces would be like these flat areas, whereas these would be edges. So we'll open up exercise 6-2. Here's what our completed exercise will look like. So we'll have this before feature, and then here's how it looks afterwards. You could just fill this with a cylinder and union it, and then create another cylinder and subtract it in the after component, but this is more efficient. So we'll go to our D2L. We'll download 6-2. Open it. And then as we look at the sub-object editing, what we want to do is we want to be able to move the hole from its present position to the center of the curve shape. And so we'll need to have object snap on so that we can acquire those different surfaces. I'm going to turn on my dynamic input here, and so my cursor now should follow, my prompt should follow where my cursor movements are. And then we're going to take another look at the exercise. Hold Control, select it, hit enter, and then you need to make sure that your object snaps are on. And so here's my O snaps, they're off. Turn them on, and turn on 3D O snaps as well, and regular O snaps. Specify the base, and so we'll glide over, and it acquired the 2D O snap, but that's fine. And then we'll hover and locate the center of the arc. We'll say exit and exit. And go to our layout page, and we can right click on that from template, get your B-size title block, double click in the viewport, view, zoom all. This is called tile mode, and it's called floating model space, and you can toggle in between this floating model space. If you hit the F2 key, you can see what the actual commands are that AutoCAD is using. M space for model space, P space for paper space. And so as you start to work with these viewports, you'll see people in AutoCAD do a lot of work with that. You'll have multiple viewports in some of the other drawings. We'll set up an isometric view and a visual style. Let's go with 3D view, southeast isometric. We won't dial in a visual style, or we won't dial in a scale, but we'll go with a conceptual visual style, and then practice exercise 6-2. Be sure to put your name on it, and I'll just call this one Solid Editing. And I was thinking, hey, maybe we don't want to do these title blocks and stuff, but the problem with not doing a title block is that it just makes everything look unstandardized. It's very common to have a title block with lots of information. When I worked for Komatsu dresser company, they make the big excavators that you see. They had everything on the title block, from GD&T symbols to instructions, as well as they'd even put scales on it that you could be out in the field and you could rip the piece of paper off and measure things. So that's my 2 cents for making everybody put a title block on. Alrighty, that ends this video. I'll stop the recording and post.